Hey friends, it's me, Micah. This is the Homestead Bandwagon. I'm sitting on my tractor doing some thinking. This is a thinking video, not a lot of action, but hey, stick with me if you want to talk about electric tractors and electric machinery and lithium ion technology. And is it the answer? Spoiler alert, no, I don't think it is. I'm going to have some links in the description of this video to some articles I've been reading, and they're not wacko conspiracy theory articles. They're like just, I don't know, just normal everyday articles from normal places like Scientific American and Popular Science and stuff. And maybe a couple of videos that I've seen too that kind of sparked my interest. What I'm thinking about is battery powered stuff, specifically like tractors, because I like tractor stuff and I've been watching some electric tractor videos. And I don't think that we're going to be having a very good time in the near future if we keep pushing these battery technologies and making them a requirement or forcing people to buy them. And this isn't for political reasons. It's because I started reading stuff and I think that we have officially put the cart before the horse. So first of all, the machines themselves. So electric cars, you see a lot of places, a lot of states, a lot of countries saying, okay, 2030, all cars being sold are electric. I think electric cars are doing pretty good. You've got some good range with them. It's definitely going to be a poverty tax of sorts, because if you're broke and you're living in an apartment, where are you supposed to install a car charger? And that's going to make used cars, the price of them go through the roof, because the infrastructure doesn't exist yet to charge the cars. And I don't see that infrastructure just magically appearing. I've never met a magnanimous apartment owner who says, hey, I'm going to give everybody free car charging or put a car charger in everybody's spot. And it's just going to be a nightmare for apartment dwellers, which is sad. But for tractors, boy, this stuff's in its infancy. If you look at videos on Solectrac tractors and you kind of cut through the BS, they're having people pay to be beta testers. That's what's happening. I've got a customer of mine who's a farmer, and she works for a non-profit farm where they're exploring sustainable options for farming. And the board of directors bought them a tractor. It was a Solectrac. She can work 4 hours a day with it. That's it. Well, if you've ever farmed, which I'm not a farmer, but if you ever have farmed, and I know farmers and I know of farmers, you're working more than 4 hours a day, baby. You're out there 10, 12 hours a day. So they are working by hand to do most of their farming tasks, which at that point, maybe they should have just skipped the tractor and got themselves a couple donkeys or something. That's actually more sustainable in my mind than a tractor, but I'll digress. But she says the thing doesn't lift, the PTO is a pain in the neck. You can see videos on that. They've solved some of those problems now, but basically they paid for a beta test. Excavators as well, these big excavators that they introduced this year, 2023, at some of the expos. They'll work 4 hours on a 2-hour charge, but you got to take it back to home base to charge it. That doesn't help. Or they said, well, there's a big battery bank on the back of a trailer that you can use. Problem is that trailer doesn't exist yet. These things are still in their infancy. So I guess what I'm saying is, we're seeing all of this push to everything new being sold must be battery. California's doing it with hand tools. Hand tools they're out of their infancy, but line trimmers powered by battery work pretty good. Chainsaws are okay. You still can't get a big production chainsaw. You're limited to like a 20-inch bar or something. The blowers stink on battery and they don't last very long unless you spend like $2,000 for a giant battery that you wear on your back or something. But California says, hey, everything being sold that's a piece of power, outdoor power equipment, must be battery in the coming years here. And that's like in a year or two. Washington State, the state I live in, is following suit as well. And as a result, Honda, who makes a great commercial walk-behind mower, pulled the plug. They said, we're not making mowers anymore. We're done. They pulled out the rug from everybody. And that's hurting people that I work with, because they depend on these Honda commercial walk-behind mowers to make a living. And there is no battery counterpart that works. Nothing that they can use that gives them the same level of capability as that gasoline machine did. We're pushing, but not worried about the consequences of those pushes. and not worrying about whether or not the technology exists. And that gets me to my main point here, which is we're depending on lithium ion batteries for all of these battery packs. And I'm here to tell you, I've been doing some reading. It is not the way. There is not enough lithium in supply in the short term to meet our demands. I was at a meeting with Still, the chainsaw and weed whacker and blower company, and they said by their estimates in 10 years, unless 70% of every existing battery is recycled immediately, there will not be enough lithium ion batteries on the market to meet demand. There just won't. We just won't have stuff. It's not going to exist. So if you buy something now that has a lithium ion battery in it, that lithium ion battery is shot in 10 years. That's about how long lithium ion batteries last. 10 years, there ain't going to be enough batteries to go around. So guess what? You've got yard art. If you've got your electric tractor, or you've got an electric car, or you've got, even your DeWalt hand drill might be a paperweight because there's not enough lithium ion batteries to go around. It's something to think about. And again, in the description of this, if you look in there, I made some bullet points showing some just math I pulled out of some articles. I didn't try to cherry pick, and these are regular articles by like Popular Science and stuff like that, not weird conspiracy woo-woo theory stuff. I'm not into that. Well, I am, but I'm not going to post that kind of stuff, okay? So I'm just seeing that the math isn't there, man, and we're not talking about it because we've just committed to a boat with a lot of holes in it. And I don't think that's good. If Still says they're not going to have enough batteries to go around in 10 years, they're a big company and they know what they're talking about. And I'm looking at numbers saying that there's, 80 million tons of lithium in existence that we're aware of. Estimated 80 million tons. We can probably feasibly pull about 22 million tons. If we replaced every car on the planet with a battery-powered car like we build them right now, that would take half of that 22 million. And then we've got to, still have batteries for everything else. And what if you want to have another battery for your car 10 years from now? Right? So we've replaced every car with battery. That took half the lithium that we could pull out of the soil. You can have one replacement battery after 10 years, then there's no more lithium. And at our current levels of pulling lithium from the soil and from rocks and from water, it would take us 100 years to get all the lithium to make these batteries for all these things. There's not enough production. There's not enough supply to meet the demand. And if we want to ramp up supply, it takes anywhere from like 10 to 20 years to get a lithium mine production facility up and running. So if your batteries all die in 10 years, and let's say we started today, said, hey, we're building, 1 million production facilities for lithium ion batteries. We're gonna build 1 million mines. Well, your batteries die in 10 years. Those facilities aren't up for 15 to 20 years. There's a 5-10 year lag there where there is not nearly enough supply to meet demand. And guess who's doing all the production right now? China. They own 80% of the market. From what I've seen, they own about 80% of the battery production. Why would they give them to us? Why wouldn't they just keep them or share them with their friends in Russia, who they've been buying petroleum from during this whole Ukraine crisis? Those guys are going to keep each other in business. I don't think they're our best friends, just historically. And that's not, again, woo-woo conspiracy theory. That's just history. I don't think lithium-ion batteries are the way to go. In the short term, there's not enough to go around. In the long term, we will run out. Even if we collected all 88 million tons of lithium that we're aware of that exists, if we could possibly do it, which I don't think we could, it still wouldn't be enough to go around. It would maybe last us 70 years. That's not very long, man. What about our kids? So what do you think? Give me some comments in the description. Share this with your friends. Let's have a conversation about this. I think it's a discussion we need to have, even if we're just talking about caring for our own land with the things we need. Tractors. We're mechanized here. I could probably use an ox end cart if I needed to, but you know what? I use a tractor, so I'm concerned about having tractors in the future to use. If I get pushed where I have to buy a new tractor that has a battery in it because all the used ones are either busted or the price of them is skyrocketed beyond my capabilities to afford, because that's how economics works, supply and demand, or I've just been told, nope, sorry, you're not allowed to buy those tractors anymore. We're destroying all the internal combustion engines. If we don't think that would ever happen, let's think about the Cash for Clunkers program that happened years ago. I was working at a car dealership there then where we destroyed perfectly good working engines. I thought recycling was what we're supposed to do. But no, we destroyed engines, turned them into paperweights, took cars off the market that were used, and the used car market prices went through the roof. And it was just to support these automakers that were pumping new cars into the market that weren't selling. These things happen when there's mandates. And frankly, I'm not an alarmist, but it worries me. What do you think? Is that what's going to happen? I don't know. So tell me in the comments. Again, I'm not trying to get political here. I'm just saying, hey, here's the world we live in. The world is progressing, but the direction the herd is moving in towards this lithium ion battery thing, it seems like it's not a good idea. Are there other ideas out there? Why aren't we making hybrid vehicles? Those seem like a really good thing. Yet instead of using the hybrid vehicle bridge that gets us to better battery power island, we're just trying to jump the river without a bridge, and we don't really know how big the island is over here. What happened to our hybrid stuff, man? I'd love to have a hybrid diesel electric tractor. Are you kidding me? You know, I could work for a month on a single tank of fuel. Give me a break, man. I'd love that. What do you think? Does anybody make a hybrid tractor that I don't know about? I'm not even hearing nothing about hybrid cars anymore. I'd like to have a hybrid truck. You know, can't afford it, but it'd be nice. But it seems like, nope, no more hybrids, just all battery. Is that a bad idea? I think it's a bad idea. Tell me what you think in the comments. Again, like I said, and read some of the stuff, check out some of the articles I put in the description here. All right, I'm going to get back to just doing nothing because now it's too late to get any work done and it's starting to rain again. So, all right, we'll see you. Be kind to each other.